Good day, this is Terry DeFazio, and you're watching Dial It Up. Today on our show, once again, we have Tyler Tinker, owner and operator of Pride Fitness Performance Center. It's good to have you on again.
Good to be back.
And lots has changed since the last time you were on here.
Definitely.
Tell us about your new facility, where it's located, where you moved from, and all that.
All right. Well, we are now located at 326 Bluff Road in Newport, Vermont. We started this transition back in early August. It was about a two-month transition from our old location in Derby. So we started that first week of August, and we moved in October 3rd. Monday was our first day open there.
Okay, you had like a ribbon cutting yesterday?
We did. Yesterday was our official grand opening, our ribbon cutting ceremony. We had members of the town council and the city manager, and as well as a lot of family members and our clients and people from the community there. So it was awesome to kind of bring everyone together.
Now, I saw your old facility up in Derby,
Yep.
and it was quite removed from civilization back there.
Bit.
It was back there.
A little bit.
Can you tell us a bit more about why did you move?
Okay. Yeah, our old facility, I like to refer to it as kind of the diamond in the rough. I remember the first time going to visit that building, and I was just like, but it's amazing. When you have a dedicated following, people will follow you. But now, one of the reasons why we moved, we needed a bigger space. That was the biggest thing. We had about a little less than 2,000 square feet at that old space, just really enough space for our 50-foot length turf and a few mats and a few machines that we had. Now we have over triple that space. We have 6,000 square feet. We have 3 separate rooms within our new facility, and it's a total upgrade. It's a totally different animal now running this new facility.
And what new equipment have you added? Because I know when I went up there, it was a bit sparse.
Yeah.
So what new equipment have you added?
So we're still really big on a lot of body weight movements, a lot of free weight movements, but we've added a tremendous amount of free weights, a full rack of dumbbells from 5 to 100-pound size there, a couple Ninja Warrior type training rigs. So if you're familiar with that show, like there's a big, huge, it's a 24-foot steel structure, 12 feet high. It has various different obstacles like rope climbs, rings, a lot of gymnastic type movements, and as well as another freestanding squat rack that's in our middle room, our weight room that's known as the Asylum.
Mm-hmm. So you could have a steel cage match.
We could have, and we have a wrestling ring now in
Okay.
in the new spot. That was one thing that personally, I was like, when we get a new spot, it's something that I'm doing for myself. Like I need to have that in there.
Freestyle or Greco-Roman?
Oh, a pro wrestling ring.
Pro wrestling. Okay.
WWE style all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people don't realize that while the outcomes are predetermined,
Sure.
there's a lot of athleticism because
absolutely.
you see all the injuries that happen in WWE or TNA for that matter.
Sure. I have one right now. I had a show 2 weeks ago, and I sprained wrist, bruised tailbone, 2 hyperextended knees. But that's part of the game. It's just like being a stunt man. It's being able to train and make sure that you're flexible, not only flexible, but you're strong to take those falls. And now that I have that, it's kind of allows me to train there a lot more specific on a daily basis rather than a monthly or even a quarterly basis when I didn't have it before.
Mm-hmm. Have you had any high-profile people stop by yet? Or are you going
to the Performance Center?
Yeah.
I'm actually planning on doing some wrestling training, like seminars and workshops with some guys that I've actually worked with in some pro shows. So it's in the works.
Oh,
definitely
okay.
in the works.
Because I know that for a while, nobody really knew how to get into professional wrestling. And all of a sudden, Killer Kowalski came up with his wrestling school.
Yep.
And I guess there's several of them around there now. I'm not exactly sure where, but they're all over the country, right?
Yeah, they're definitely gotten popular. And that's where I trained was at Killer Kowalski's school in North Andover, Mass. Probably the best school in the country. So there's a lot of good ones out there now. But it's getting more popular. Before, like 10, 20 years ago, like how do you break into the business? But it's a lot more accessible now.
Yeah, and I guess NXT has helped that also, haven't they?
Oh yeah, NXT is a total game changer. WWE added their Performance Center, has 7 rings, Orlando, Florida, and it's just everything from the theatrics to the athletic part. I mean, they have athletic trainers, strength coaches on site, theater production. I mean, you name it. It's a total beast of becoming a pro.
Yeah. And I remember, speaking of professional wrestling, I know that, I don't know if it was 4 or 8 years ago, Kurt Angle wanted to get back into freestyle wrestling in the Olympics.
Yep.
And his body had been beat up so bad, he realized he couldn't compete against 20-year-olds anymore.
That's right.
You know, and he was a hell of a wrestler.
Yep.
And he actually was an Olympic champion.
1996, gold medal, yeah.
Right. 96 was in Atlanta, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, but he was a very good technical wrestler, considered one of the 5 best in the world.
Sure.
Along with Chris Benoit was another excellent. Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the other guy, too. Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, extremely good technical wrestlers, not just some big bumbling oaf.
Right.
You know, which happens on occasion.
Sure.
So, so do you have any specific names of pro wrestlers that you want to see come in?
The ultimate dream would be, I mean, as a kid growing up in the 90s, the Hardy Boys were a very big inspiration to myself and my style. And I would love to have them come in and do like a seminar and maybe have them up for like a local show and get to wrestle with them. That would be like, if I did that, like it would just be the pinnacle of everything that I've worked for in wrestling wise.
Mm-hmm. You know what you also might want to consider too is some of the wrestlers that aren't quite as popular. There was one guy I used to like to watch, and I don't even know if he's still in the game, was Steven Richards.
Stevie Richards. Oh yeah. Yep.
I thought he was a great technical wrestler, kind of small.
Smart.
Yeah.
Very smart too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the first time I saw him, he had a shtick he did with Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah, and they were, I don't know what happened, but they split up and they went their separate ways or something. She ended up down on TNA under the name of Tara or something like that.
Yep.
And I always thought the WWE never did right by her.
Right. Now
she was extremely athletic.
Very, yeah.
And then I don't think they ever treated, just my opinion, I don't think they ever treated her right.
Yeah.
Because I know she could beat even some of the guys for that matter.
They had so many underrated talents where it's just like, you know, they can't push everyone at once, right? But there's just, it's a lot of on the talent to seize the opportunity. It's a lot of on the management too to kind of recognize that and give them that opportunity to go for it. So
yeah. Exactly. I know that there were a lot of guys that I don't think that they got their just and ladies for that matter also. So you offer other things besides just training.
Yes.
You offer nutrition.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and explain what is involved with nutrition counseling.
Yeah. It's kind of a grayscale type of thing because a lot of people don't understand. Like, okay, nutrition consultation is what's advertised on our website. And on our sign out front, it says strength and conditioning, massage therapy, nutrition. I kind of wanted to go a little basic where the strength and conditioning covers all the training we do. Massage therapy is more the recovery aspect. Nutrition, I mean, it's kind of the triad. You need to perform, you need to recover, and you need nutrition. All good things come in 3. So the nutrition aspect of that, at Linden State, I studied exercise science, and my degree was kind of self-designed in sports nutrition. Sports nutrition is probably my favorite discipline within the field of exercise science. So I got a lot of practical knowledge with that field. So some of the things that we offer are some of our nutrition and diet challenges have been extremely successful and extremely popular. We've had one athlete in just 1 year. It's not all about weight loss, but lost 75 pounds in a year, 10% body fat. And with these type of challenges, they're structured in a way that they're kind of inspiring, they're motivating. People can kind of go online and share recipes and photos of meals that they're doing, so it kind of keeps everyone involved and makes it semi-competitive, but not, so competitive where it discourages people that are doing it just for fun or whatnot. But those have been extremely popular, as well as those group challenges, as well as the individual with personal training. If someone's goal is to gain muscle or to lose weight, biggest part of that, 70% of that, if not 80% of that, is their diet and nutrition. Training, if I see you twice a week, 3 times a week, that's 1 hour of those days, of those 24 hours. So the other 23 hours, the other 100-something hours in the week, that's up to you. It's up to your diet and your nutrition, what you're putting in your body. So we offer them a customized meal plan to the individual, because everyone's different. Everyone has a different work schedule, something that needs to work for them, right? We don't just have one black and white, hey, follow this. It's really, we get to know the individual's lifestyle, get to know their habits, their work routine, et cetera, and come up with something that really that they'll not only hold themselves accountable for, but they'll stick to because it's more fitting to them.
Now, lately we've been hearing a lot about increased obesity, especially childhood obesity.
Yeah.
In your opinion, have you seen an increase in people that want to work out or a decrease in people that want to work out and stay in shape?
Oh, definitely an increase.
Increase.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of the biggest reasons why we needed a larger facility. Just some of our group classes, 15, 20 people in 2,000 square foot room was tight, and we wanted to maximize space so that, for safer benefits, but also so that, everyone can just have more opportunities and more equipment available in the space. But absolutely.
In my opinion, what I've noticed is I've seen more people interested in working out.
Sure.
You still have your people who don't work out or don't want to work out for whatever reason. But I'd like your opinion on this, because I have my own opinion, and it's pretty strong.
Okay.
I think the BMI discourages people.
Sure.
And can you tell us I know what the BMI is, and I think we've discussed this before, and I've even discussed this with state legislators and insurance companies.
We need to get rid of BMI and replace it with body fat percentage, because there's a big difference. BMI is just solely height and weight, and it's a formula. It's calculated in that. Dane, our other coach, right? Perfect example of that. 5'8", 200 pounds, right? To that in a BMI scale, he's obese, right? Yes.
I know.
Dane has 10% body fat.
Yeah.
He's not obese, right? So there's so many people that just by looking at that number, you need to lose weight. Well, he's a competitive bodybuilder. He doesn't need to. That's, you know what I mean? So it's BMI doesn't take any consideration muscle mass or. A little bit of fat mass, obviously, but it doesn't consider really how athletic you are or what the individual is. There's 3 different types of body types and body images out there, and BMI just doesn't do the right justification of that. I think in the next 10 or 20 years, as fitness and health and strength and conditioning is getting more popular, maybe some of the people that are in charge of the BMI, it'll just be on its way out, because it's a very old school way of classifying people, and it's not fair.
I researched that, by the way, and you know when the BMI actually was made?
No.
1600s by a mathematician.
That old, wow. So it's time for a change.
And the reason he did it was because the people in the Middle Ages in Europe were so skinny and emaciated that he had to come up with a formula to make them seem normal, so they would stop complaining about the fact they didn't have enough food.
Sure.
And why that continues today, it baffles me. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know a doctor that believes in it, but yet when I went
but they still use it.
Yeah.
It's they're like, oh, this is what it says, but it's just, okay, so why are you using it?
I got into an argument with a doctor back in 2004 over that.
Yeah.
But the doctor I have now says, I don't believe in this. As a matter of fact, you can request, all of you people out there, as they say in Canada, out there, you can request not to have your BMI taken.
Yeah.
You can request that, and they can't put it in your record because most of this stuff goes to insurance companies.
Sure.
And even though it's anonymous, it's still part of a statistic that is inaccurate.
It's not accurate at all. And more I have a machine that calculates body fat percentage, and that's a bigger number to go after. Like if someone wants to lose weight, say someone with our challenges or our nutrition, they'll only lose, say, a few pounds and they'll get discouraged of that. But yes, because you've improved your strength and your conditioning, your body fat lowered at a much more substantial number and figure than your weight did. That's the number to go after. That's the more health kind of accountable figure that shows you.
Yeah, when I went on my quest to lose, I think I ended up losing 45 pounds.
Yeah.
I use the calipers.
Yep.
I found that's the best one you can use, other than, say, a hydroponic tank.
Yep.
That's the best. Of course,
Hydrostatic weighing,
I don't even know if there is one around here.
Well, they're huge. They're super expensive. I use what's called a BEI scanner. It's a bioelectrical impedance. It's a handheld. They also have ones where you stand on, and it actually measures your body's hydration level, and it conducts an electrical impulse through your body. Since we're 70% water, our human anatomy, it's a conductor of electricity. It's fairly accurate. It's never more than 1 to 1.5% off. It depends on how hydrated you are. So if you're very dehydrated, the test measures are not as accurate. But if you're hydrated, like I said, my body fat never changes on that test between 1 to 1.5%. It's a nice, reliable tool.
I do know that one of the reasons that doctors' offices still use the BMI is because it's easy.
It's easy.
And they don't want to take skin caliper tests, and it's too time consuming. And I think that's one of the reasons it hasn't changed.
Right.
But I'm looking for a day when that does change.
Hope so.
Because I think to use something that was started in the 1600s.
Yeah.
I have a whole article about it. I'll send it to you sometime. It's actually unbelievably ridiculous.
Yeah.
The last time I was at Dartmouth Hitchcock, I had to go down there for something. And they said, "What's your height and your weight?" And I said, "Are you doing my BMI?" And they said, "No, we're not."
Right.
I said, "Well, I think it's BS." And the doctor looked at me. She said, "I think it is too."
Yep.
So, at any rate, how many massage therapists do you have? I know Paula is one, right?
Just one, just her.
Just her?
Yep. She has her. So that was kind of a part of our expanding, is that we wanted to offer that. A lot of our clients, from Paula being involved in our training, she referred some people. We referred some people to her that just have nagging aches and pains. And when you're in the lifestyle of fitness and strength and conditioning, whether you're doing a Spartan race or bodybuilding or just trying to keep in shape, but you're working out 4 or 5 times a week, you're gonna have those aches and pains. And if you're not taking the steps on your own to stretch out, everyone needs a stretch. Everyone needs to foam roll or do some sort of deep tissue. It's nice to kind of have that that service available for people that recognize its value and its worth, because it's extremely valuable. All professional athletes have deep tissue specialists, stretching them out or massage them out before a game. It's the same principle. If you're going to take that much pride in your health and your training, it's the whole package. Like I said, it's the training, it's the recovery aspect of it, and it's the nutrition. It's about balancing out that triangle, that triad.
Yeah, because as well as I do.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk to the camera, because we can talk to each other, but
Sure.
we're going to talk to the camera.
Sure.
You don't lift weights and automatically get stronger. It's called the catabolic anabolic cycle.
Sure, yes.
You tear down first,
Yes.
then you build up.
Yep.
And how you build up is with recovery and
Right.
nutrition
Absolutely.
and rest and all that stuff.
Right.
The reason people use a split or double split system or things like that is
Yes.
because to train the same body part every day
Yes.
is kind of defeats the purpose
Yes.
of it.
And to go off that lifting weights thing, this is the message to all the ladies out there that are afraid that if you pick up a weight and that you're going to get too bulky, right? Everyone has heard that one, right? Let me say this. The only thing that is going to get you bulky is your nutrition or your poor nutrition.
Yeah.
Lifting weights, like if I lifted up a weight one time, I'm not going to get bulky over that. I've been lifting weights for 10 years, and like I said, it's still a battle to put on muscle. It's
Oh, yeah.
It's like I said, it's a process.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know how if this is still the case, but I remember when I first started this into bodybuilding, which was 1974. Okay, I'm dating myself, and I don't care. I'm old, and I don't care. I believe they said the most lean muscle you could gain in a year is 5 to 10 pounds. Is that still the case?
I would say it definitely depends on the individual, but that's probably a good round number to throw out there, naturally, of course. And diet is going to be a huge factor. That eating the right things on a training day, on a non-training day, adequate rest, sleep. But that's probably 10 pounds would be great in a year.
And that's only if you have the perfect exercise, perfect diet, and perfect metabolism.
Got it.
So the average person that says to you, "I don't want to look like those bodybuilder types," just tell them, "Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Ain't gonna happen."
Not gonna happen to you.
No.
Guess what? You picked up a dumbbell one time, you are not gonna get bulky.
No.
Everyone, and it's amazing because a lot of people will come to me like, "I want to get toner," right? Toning is another very term that's like, what does toning mean? What does that mean? It means improved muscle definition. What does improved muscle definition mean? Well, that means increase of strength. The only way you're going to increase your strength is by some form of resistance training. Resistance training through body weight exercise, push-ups or body weight, pull-ups. I mean, they're still tough exercises, or lifting weights. So you need to lift weights. You need to do some form of resistance training to tone, along with proper nutrition, of course.
Yeah, tone has nothing to do with the key of E or the key of C either.
No.
Right, Todd?
No, that's wrong.
I know, I hear that all the time.
Right.
And the other one is, I don't want to get muscle bound. Well, if you lift weights, you won't get muscle bound, but you are bound to get muscles.
That's right. There you go.
You are bound to. You cater to all forms of weight training.
All forms.
You have Olympic weightlifters there too?
Yes.
To me, it's a shame you don't see much of it on television anymore.
I know. It's definitely gotten more popular within the last few years or so, mainly because of CrossFit has kind of sparked that trend a little bit. But absolutely, like, I think the big three of weightlifting is powerlifting, bodybuilding, and Olympic weightlifting.
Right.
And they're all so different, but they're so awesome in their own right. And I use forms of them for myself and my own personal training and for everybody. Like I said, there's no one form of training that's bad. Like some coaches will say all machines are bad or Olympic lifting is bad or power, you know what I mean? It's kind of very a closed-minded approach to say that something is bad or you shouldn't do that, because it all comes down to the individual. Every individual is a different shade. And so it's all about choosing the right form of exercise, the right discipline for the individual.
Now, cross fitness is something that's relatively new, isn't it, compared to Olympic lifting, bodybuilding, weightlifting, which is big when I started?
Sure.
I don't believe there was such a thing as cross fitness back then.
Sure.
So how new is cross fitness?
Oh, I'm going to say 7-8 years or so is when they came into, when they coined the term CrossFit, and really that's just a brand. CrossFit has done a tremendous job at branding different forms of fitness. They've brought in kind of the Olympic lifts paired with some body weight training, paired with some gymnastic training, and just basically it's cross training. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's a brand. Really the best thing about it is just their branding and their marketing.
It was kind of like what rollerblade did. The skate itself was actually called an inline skate.
Yeah.
But rollerblade became so popular, everybody calls it rollerblade.
Rollerblade, yeah.
When I think the same thing happened with cross fitness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So how popular do you see cross fitness as being now compared to the other branches?
Well, it's definitely, when you think, at least when I think of kind of a warehouse type gym, such as myself, you think of that kind of CrossFit style CrossFit training. But I mean, it's definitely trendy. And one thing that they've done is they've brought people together. Before in like a gym, say 20 years ago, you go to the gym and didn't really have that family sort of kind of vibe.
Right.
And what CrossFit is, they've done a very good job at bringing people together, making it more of a community-driven, much more family-oriented type of workout experience. You go there, you're surrounded with your friends that almost become like your family, your brothers and your sisters. And so for that form, they've done a very good job. And that's one thing that we've done with our pride. That's what we call them, our pride of athletes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for individuals who are just starting out? Say somebody's, they haven't done any sort of weight training, but they're really tired of the way they look or feel.
Sure.
And do you have any specific advice for them?
Come up with something, a goal, with what you want to do, what you want to obtain, what you want to be like, what you want to look like, and from there, use that as your motivation, as your catalyst to spark what you're going to do next. And we have at our facility, we offer like a trial deal for new members. Like you come in, you have a kind of a consultation or orientation with one of our performance coaches, and then we just kind of go from there. We kind of lay down a path with like, all right, maybe this group fitness class would be better for you. Maybe personal training, one-on-one would be better for you, or at least for a few weeks until you get comfortable enough with some of the exercises so then you can go into some of the group classes. We have yoga classes. So there's all sorts of realms of whatever the athlete or whatever the individual is looking to do.
Yeah. Contact information. Can you give us website information and phone numbers?
Absolutely. So it's pridefitnessperformance.com. Pretty simple. We're located 326 Bluff Road, Newport, Vermont. Our business phone is 802-535-6395.
Tyler, I want to thank you for being on.
Absolutely.
And I wish you all the best in your facility.
Thank you very much.
This is Terry DeFazio for Dial It Up. I've only got one thing left to say to you guys out there, and I think Tyler will agree with me. For your body to really look different, the goal is to show off your muscles. Until next time, this is Dial It Up. We'll see ya.
Newport, Vermont. She's representing Pride Fitness and Performance Center. She works as a massage therapist. She's been training for many years. She recently placed first and second at the Green Mountain Thaw. And she's a marathon runner and decided that she liked lifting heavy things more. Here is contestant number 8. Solid running, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,